Right, so we've had a fault develop with our jack stands, the levelling system. It's saying that our jacks are down constantly. Now we've checked and our jacks are not down, so there's obviously some sort of a fault there. We're wondering if it might be some water's got into something, or whether there's a faulty joint or a cable problem. So that's now another priority, because it's incessant beeping is going to drive us nuts. So that's going to be our next priority for the next thing to fix.
We are on the way.
We've had a little problem with our bus. The hydraulics for the, what are they? Jack stands?
Yeah.
One of the leads is, we think has sprung a leak.
And we had this huge, the beeping sound.
Yeah, it was
all the way from the last...
beeping at us for 3.5 hours while we were
5
driving.
hours.
It was 5, was it? Morning guys, I'm here at the beautiful Lake Claiborne National Park, and we're going to give you an update on our jack stands problem. So the first thing we had to do was find out what was making the incessant beeping. Now returned to Google University and found out that the problem was the reservoir. So the reservoir holds the fluid that pushes through the pipes that drops forces the jack stands down, and there's a level indicator. So if the fluid is not all the way back up to the top, then it's an indication that one of your jack stands may still be down, or in my case we've had a leak and the fluid has dropped below the level required to stop it from being a noisy beep beep beeping while you're traveling around. So from there we needed to find out exactly where the reservoir was. Looking through all of the manuals and things like that, of course nothing about the reservoir. The fact that it has a reservoir isn't even in there. Went on to Google University again, got all manner of locations. So one was it's underneath the stairs as you enter the motorhome. Another one was it's in the first panel on the passenger side door, on the passenger side. That's where our water tank is. Another one said it was located in the rear, and that's where we found it. Alright, as you can see under there, both the jack stands are up. That's because the hoses that run to those two front jack stands have got a leak, and they lose pressure and then just come back up again. Now I'll show you the next problem. So on the driver's side, rear of the bus, this is the cabinet that has the reservoir in for the jack stands on the Fleetwood Expedition, and I don't know whether or not you're going to be able to see this, but we have two hoses up here which are leaking a lot. The amount of gunge and goo and yuck all through here is basically this tank pumping itself out through the holes here and leaking all into here. So at some point I'm going to have to steam clean all of that. And I'm not sure whether the hoses are just knackered here or whether their hoses are knackered at the stands as well, because there's a leak in the rear back jack stand, but it doesn't come back up again. So I'm picking that this is leaking down and dripping at the the rear jack stand. Now, of course, the million-dollar question. Can I fix this? Answer is hell no. I don't have the equipment to do it. I don't have the know-how to do it. I've never done anything with hydraulics before. So the next step was get on the phone, ring around, and find somebody to sort it out for us. So after making a few phone calls, we now have a mobile RV mechanic coming out tomorrow morning to have a look at it, and we'll move forward from there. So I may be blowing the monthly budget on this. This is something that we didn't plan on, but we'll see how it goes. So that's the ongoing story. Alright guys, the ongoing saga of our jack stands. The guy that decided that he would help us out and repair them, replace them all, reneged, said he couldn't do it. So at that point I thought, what the hell, YouTube University once again, and we removed the hydraulic lead that we thought was the major problem, the one that was leaking the most. We took that down to a hydraulics manufacturer or supplier. They made up 2 new leads. The one we took off was the driver's side one, so they made up 1 lead for that, made it about 2 feet longer than the old one, and then they made another one for the passenger side front, and also made that 2 feet longer. But actually made it 6 feet longer because it's got to come across to the other side. Yeah, can you get me the black handled spanner, and I'll just tighten this one up.
I thought you were supposed to bleed it
I
first.
don't care.
Eh?
I'm just going to run them up and down 3 or 4 times.
But I thought, and then the what do you call it? Eh, it's trapped in there.
No, it'll bleed out. It'll bleed
Do
out.
it properly.
All right, get me a bottle.
The bottle is just there. Right, here you go.
All right, so I'm just finishing up the final bits and pieces of tying up the new hose, and I'm actually going to come out of here because I'm being eaten alive by ants and I'm getting out from underneath the van. So there you go. That one's fine. The other one we have to replace.
Which one?
The,
Really?
yep.
Why is it?
It's leaking at this end.
Eh?
It's leaking at that end.
Leaking on that end.
Yeah. So, good thing we got them both. Can you take my phone?
Eh?
Take my phone.
How bad is the leak?
Bad. We installed the driver's side lead. Disturbed a nest of red ants. They went absolutely nuts. My feet are on fire. They even managed to somehow crawl up on top of Jaynee and get her in the face. But we finished the driver's side one and we've tested it. It works fine. However, the passenger side one is quite bad. So this is going to be an ongoing issue because right now we're at one of the historic sites that we particularly wanted to go and see. We've extended one night of our stay here because we've lost completely today. So tomorrow we're going to go out and do the holidaying thing that we're supposed to be doing, and we will replace the passenger side lead at a later date. So there we go. Not a lot of fun going on here today, but we're going to relax tomorrow and go and have a look at some stuff and put this behind us, and then we'll have another crack at it later on. Okay. Okay guys, so I've replaced both leads out to the front jack stands. Not a particularly pleasant job. The first one took quite a while. The second one was really quick. Only took me about an hour to do the second one. I guess once you've worked out how to do it, everything goes really quickly. Okay, so here it is in the cupboard here. Got the two new ones here and here, and they're fed from the one solenoid, which is for the front, and the back ones I have not replaced yet. I'm going to just test them shortly to make sure that they're still okay, and hopefully that's the end of it. Alright, so I've put the two jack stands down at the back, I've got the funds down at the front, I've levelled up the whole bus, everything's running nicely, it's not leaking anywhere. Looks like we've solved one major problem. So now I can go and have a shower and get cleaned up and throw away my clothes that are covered with transmission oil. By the way, this was a shitty job. Alright, so this is the final check-in with the jack stands. They've been down now for 12 hours. They're all down, there's no leaks anywhere, everything appears to be fine. And I've pulled a muscle in my back, so I don't think I'll be doing anything for a while. I might do some little tiny jobs, but I think I'll just... Well, there you go. The job's finished. The van's happy. The van's closed the door. Yeah, anyway, I don't think I'll be doing much over the next couple of days. We'll just go and do some sightseeing and bits and pieces like that. But yeah, that was a really horrible job, and it's done and it's finished, and I'm happy that it's finished, and I hope you all never ever have to do this job. All up, I think it cost about $500 for us to do it ourselves. I think the leads were the most expensive part. They cost about $470. And then it took me the 2 days to do it effectively. The first one was about 4 hours, the second one was 1 hour. Not a pleasant job, but it's done, and I hope it gives you some insight if ever you need to do it. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.